All right, everybody, welcome to the Drive Safe Missoula meeting. I really appreciate it. I'm your DJ this morning, Steve Schmidt. Hope all is well. Might have a few more people come up and join us here in just a bit. So, thank you all for being here. Once again, I really appreciate it. Hopefully, nobody blew away yesterday. I know it was a pretty crazy day in this little land of ours. So, um, all right, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. One thing I'd like everybody to do is if you could hop on to Facebook real quick and do our check-ins. This is where you do a check. Well, actually, you know what? We can actually skip that moment because I don't have a check-in for Drive Safe Missoula as a whole. I only have a check-in for the DUI Task Force or the Buckle Up Montana group, which you're welcome to definitely do a check-in on either one or both of those if you attend any one of those meetings. So feel free to hop onto Facebook if you would like, and do a check-in to let everybody know that you're meeting here today. That just helps spread the word and lets people know that you are involved with a group like this. So that would be cool. All right, and with that, I think more people will be joining as we move on here. So I'll go ahead and start the introductions just so we can get through this stuff. We got quite a bit to go over. If you receive the agenda, take a look at that. Maybe have that up on your screen and follow along as we go. So first thing we'll do is we'll do introductions. And I'm asking the question, what is something that we don't know about you? And I'll give you kind of an example here. So let me just share a screen here real quick. So so I am a former police officer out of Kansas City, Missouri. I was on the police department there for 8 years. While I was a police officer in Kansas City, I was also a professional mascot for the Major League Soccer team, the Kansas City Wizards, which you see right here. And it was definitely a truckload of fun. I also did that along with being the mascot for a Major League, or excuse me, for the largest country radio station in Kansas City, and for the big amphitheater where they played all the concerts in Kansas City. So normally I'm behind the mask, which is definitely a lot of fun, and I don't do much talking. That background comes from my history as a pantomime, believe it or not. I was a state champion pantomime here in Montana long ago, and one of the things I love to do is anything to do with living statues. So this is a statue when I was a board member for the ZAC, Zootown Arts and Community Center here in Missoula. And what I did is I let people actually paint me. And so here you can see a little girl that's actually painting me. So it was just a truckload of fun. So that's something you might not know about me. And we'll just sort of round robin it. So I'll pass it along to somebody else, and then you pass it along to somebody after that, if you could. So let's go with Rolf, since you were here first.
Okay, I read Norwegian murder mysteries in Norwegian, the Harry Hole series by Jan Nesbø.
Well, that's really cool. I have to say oofda about that. What and tell us a little bit about who you are and what brings you here today, Rolf.
I'm a citizen and have my certification for child passenger safety seat technician.
All right, very good. Thanks for joining us here today. And go ahead and pass it along to somebody else.
Okay, Shannon, do I know you're Scott Sproul?
Scott is my brother.
Okay.
I'm Shannon Sproul. I am the Missoula Substance Abuse Connect Project Director. I've been involved with DUI Task Force, Drive Safe Missoula for the last couple of years as a prevention specialist, and I love writing stories.
Nice.
I'll pass it on to Rich Saloy.
Hello, Rich Lois from Missoula City Attorney's Office. Before going to law school, I was a state trooper for 10 years, and I've been a Browns fan for 40 years.
Nice. Ooh, we're going to have a little bit of competition then, Rich. Coming out of Kansas City, by default, I have to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan. So,
Yeah, I'm not expecting good things this weekend.
I don't know. I'm a little worried.
Well, so am I on my end.
Well, good luck. Thanks for being here.
Kevy.
Okay, let's see. Kevy Berger. I'm the Operations and Programs Manager at the Foundation for Community Health. I'm also the lead coordinator for Safe Kids Missoula. I don't know, I'm pretty vocal with everything about me. I'm not really hiding anything. So I guess something you may not know unless you're my Facebook friend is that I am a pageant queen. I did not start competing in pageants till I was 40, and I've been doing that for the last 9 years. And when I compete at pageants, one of the things that I do is I compete in spokesmodel and educate on seatbelt safety. So the last pageant I competed in was in front of hundreds of people and then live streamed across thousands of people, and actually got hundreds and thousands of people to stand up with me and take a buckle up pledge. And I'm gonna give it to Kenny.
All right, so I think you can hear me now. My name is Kenny White. I'm a sergeant with the Missoula County Sheriff's Office. And I don't think any of you, except for maybe Rich, knows me. So this is probably pretty easy for me to give you something you don't know. But I was an Arabic linguist when I was in the Marine Corps.
That's great. Thanks for being here, Kenny. I appreciate it. And go ahead and pass it along to somebody else, Kenny.
Why don't we give it to iPhone Foul?
Thanks, Kenny. I know Kenny. This is Sergeant Fow with the Montana Highway Patrol. I've been a sergeant here in Missoula for about 4 years. Let's see. I was at one time a Browns fan. I've never been a pageant queen. And I have an accounting degree. And I'll pass it along to Kira.
Hi, Kira Huck, Executive Director here at Foundation for Community Health and the State Office Director for Safe Kids Montana. Oh gosh. Let's see. I run half marathons. Haven't tackled the full yet, but maybe someday. And I will pass it to Sheila.
Sheila. All right, let's go to somebody else.
Okay, I will pass it to Leah.
Hello, I'm Leah Fitch Brody from the Missoula City County Health Department. I do substance use disorder prevention, and something that not everyone might know about. I have zipped line across Victoria Falls.
I bet that was frightening.
It was. Oh, I'm supposed to, am I the last person?
No,
Okay.
no.
Reagan.
I'm Reagan Meekum. I'm the Frenchtown Community Coalition Coordinator. And this is one of those questions that I can't think of anything right off the bat, but like later I'm gonna be like, oh, that would have been a good one. I don't know. I went through a quarter life crisis in college and at one point had 4 fish tanks in my bedroom.
That's a lot of work. And who would you pass it to?
Oh, sorry. I lost track. Who hasn't gone?
See, Marie just popped up on camera.
All right, let's do Marie then.
Hello, everybody. I'm Marie Jensen. I am a nurse at St. Patrick's Hospital. I work for trauma services. Since I'm so new to this group, something you might not know about me is, I call myself a female American picker. I like to go and pick through anything and look for vintage items. I have a booth at the vintage store in Plains where I work 2 days a month. And I like that. It's a lot of fun. I find some great things and I like giving them new homes because I am actually a minimalist in my home. So that's the way that I get to shop and I get to pass it on to a happy family.
Excellent. Yes. You know, and speaking of that, so I was on eBay 2 days ago. I searched my grandmother, who used to own a ceramic shop, found a piece that she had painted back in 1978 that somebody from Washington was selling, and I bought it. So I like that old antique type of stuff, and kind of cool that I found something from my grandmother. So next time in Plains, I'll have to swing by and check it out.
Please do. They're open 7 days a week.
Awesome. Awesome. We'll pass it along to somebody else. Thank you.
How about Kenny? Has he gone?
Yeah, I think Kenny went already. Sheila had been called upon once, but I think might have been away.
I'm Sheila Callahan, the General Manager of Mountain Broadcasting, and something you might not know about me. I fully expected to become a nun. Growing up, I was quite certain. In fact, I dropped off an application to the Mary Knoll Missionaries on my first date. I made him drive to the post office so that I could drop it off. I told him what it was, and I was so naive, it never occurred to me that it might put a damper on the evening.
I was going to ask how the second date went.
The second date, I had decided not to become a nun.
That is a great story. That is awesome. I love it. And now you get to pick somebody else, Sheila.
Okay. I need to see who all is participating.
I think we might only have 3 left. Whoever's on the cell phone at 4019.
Okay.
Should we go with them?
Whoever that is, 4019, you're up.
Hello, this is Virginia. Can you hear me?
Oh, hi, Virginia. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Let's see let's see. I spent my youth flying airplanes in over upstate New York, Tennessee, and Aspen, Colorado. And I was arrested for terrorism in Peru in 2002.
What's the story behind that? We have to ask.
Oh, it's a long story. I don't want to bore people, but Laurie Berenson, who was a terrorist, was convicted by a tribunal back during when the Sendero Luminoso was active. And so her parents finally convinced the country to give her a new trial. Well, anyway, she was not popular in Lima because everybody knew she, in fact, was a terrorist. She ended up serving 25 years and she just got, she finished her sentence a couple of years ago, I think. But anyway, I was out running and I was a photographer, so I was taking pictures. I had injured it's a long story, and I happened to be in front of the Canadian ambassador's residence, and I was taking a picture of a tulipan tree, and I was surrounded by Watsiman, they're always at the door there. Everything is behind gates. And anyway, they wanted my ID. I didn't have any ID on me because I was out running. And one thing led to another, and they called a guy on a motorcycle, and he asked where my husband was, and I said, well, he's up in the mountains. He's a geologist. I don't know where he is. And they said, oh. So they brought a big bus and put me onto this bus and took me to the comisaria, which is the police station, and I was interrogated, and it goes on and on from there. And at the end, I wrote this all up for the Lima Times, and the Canadian ambassador wrote me a really nice letter and invited me to come over to his residence anytime I wanted.
Wow. So do you have to put that on an application whenever you're applying for a job that you were arrested for terrorism?
Well, I was also arrested in Spain, but that was a trumped up charge. So I thought maybe I had an Interpol record, and that prevented me from going to Cuba, but I don't. So I'm good to go.
Wow, that was absolutely fascinating. Thank you for sharing, Virginia. Appreciate that.
And by the way, my husband was from Ohio, and so we're all Browns fans too.
I'm a little outnumbered here today.
I'm from Ohio as well. This is Leah, but I am from the Cincinnati area. So,
yay!
All right.
My wife and I were actually at the first Browns game that they won at home several years ago. So within the last four years, so that we were at that game. Saw it.
All right, and with that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thanks, everybody. Go Chiefs. Okay, Dodd, Chiefs fan by chance?
No, not a football fan, hockey fan. I'm Dodd McDermott. I'm a deputy fire marshal with Missoula Rural Fire. And I guess something you probably don't know about me is I used to be a professional rodeo cowboy. I rode in the PRCA, the IPRA, the CCPRA, and I also write cowboy poetry.
And you were on a commercial.
Everybody knows that.
That's awesome. Thanks, Todd, for being here. Evan, Chiefs fan by chance? I need some help here.
You get some help, actually. I'm not from Ohio or Kansas City, but my fiance is from Topeka, and her whole family are Chiefs fans. So I've adopted the Chiefs. I'll be rooting for them tomorrow.
All right. Whew.
Or is the game Sunday, whenever the game is.
Yeah.
So I'm Evan Rosenberg. I am the legislative co-chair for Dui Task Force, community advocate. My day job has nothing to do with my work on this task force, but I work for the U.S. Department of Labor on employment training programs for at-risk youth. My office is in D.C. Telework from Missoula. My real office is actually across the street from the Capitol. So last week's events were pretty disturbing for me, since all of my colleagues, if they weren't out because of COVID, would have been right there. But we won't talk anymore about that. One thing you don't know about me maybe is that I am the school board chair for Target Range School District, which is a very hard job this year. And I get to run a school board meeting tonight that hopefully won't last 5 hours like Missoula County's lasted on Tuesday night about returning to school. So that should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for what you do. I appreciate that. And thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Awesome. I I don't think we missed anybody, did we? I think we got everybody. Okay, I think we got them. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. So one thing I had on the agenda was, can you spell the Hawaii state fish without looking? Anybody? Can anybody pronounce the Hawaii state fish without looking?
It's
No?
onomatopoeia, pina, mia, wia, hapa, hapa, hita, something or other.
That's actually pretty close.
I can pronounce it.
Go ahead.
Humu, humu, nuku, nuku, apu, aa.
Yes, that's awesome. That's a good job.
And I actually have a hat with a picture of a humu on it and the whole word spelled out, which I wish I could find. It's somewhere, but I probably can't find it between now and the end of the meeting.
And the hat's this wide, or it's really small print, right?
It's both, but I think the print goes like all the way around the entire hat.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you guys are not familiar with the state fish of Hawaii, I say look that up just so you guys could see the spelling of it. So, all right, sweet, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. A little bit of fun here to get this going today. So let me give you a couple updates. We're going to start with Buckle Up Montana. The big news with Buckle Up and seatbelt stuff right now is the House Bill 109. So we had a hearing on that on Tuesday, which really snuck up on us. We were not expecting it. And when I say we, I mean everybody in Buckle Up across the state, including the Department of Transportation. In fact, we had a Rotunda Day scheduled for, I believe, like March 8th or March 16th, where we had planned on, if they were doing such a thing, like in the past, they would go into the Rotunda, provide a bunch of seatbelt information to all the different legislators, give them lunch, all sorts of different things. We had that planned for March. And then all of a sudden, boom, it was like Thursday, we found out that this hearing was going to happen on Tuesday of this week. So I was supposed to have Friday off. That did not happen at all. In fact, I pretty much spent all day Friday working on what the Missoula County or City County Health Department submitted as testimony for this. In the past, the primary seatbelt law, that's what the House Bill 109 is, that gives law enforcement officers the ability to pull somebody over for not wearing their seatbelt. Right now, it's a secondary law. So you can only pull somebody over if you have some other form of probable cause, some other violation that was occurring first. And then if they weren't wearing their seatbelt, you could issue them a seatbelt ticket. A primary seatbelt law will allow officers to pull somebody over just for not wearing their seatbelt. So they held the hearing 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Everything had to be submitted as far as testimony on Monday at noon. So we were rushing to get that done. A lot of people had planned to do some testimony with the Department of Transportation. I found out at the last minute that they were not going to be doing it. The hearing, which the video is actually located on the agenda. There's a link to the hearing video. It starts at 8:37 in the video. Feel free to watch that. KPAX also did a story on that that's online. And then I think there was another place, the Daily or Independent Record out of Helena. They did a story on it as well in their paper. And it was presented by Representative Frank Smith out of Poplar, who was the one that introduced the bill. When he introduced it, the chairman for that committee was like, well, this just wouldn't be a committee hearing without the introduction of this bill. So it was kind of interesting. It seemed to be kind of dead in the water before it even started. There was a few people that were proponents for it and a couple people that were opponents for it, or as they would definitely say in the meeting, opponents, to not get the two confused. I don't know where it's going from here, but it doesn't sound like it's going anywhere. When I look at the bill on the Montana legislative website, it just shows that they had the hearing on the 12th, and it doesn't show anything beyond that. So I have no idea what's going on with that. Does anybody else have any additional information on where it might be going?
Where was that bill? Which committee was that, or where was that introduced?
I was in the Judiciary Committee.
That's where bills are set to die.
Okay.
That's what I was told, and that's what happened to my bill. And so I mean, I don't know why that would have been. It should have been sent to the Transportation Committee or something, but not the Judicial Committee. That's not going to go anywhere. I can tell you that for sure.
Okay, good.
She's
good.
exactly right, Steve.
Okay.
That bill's dead.
Okay. All right.
And
But I think we should write Frank and thank him for doing that. And I don't know, maybe in the future there's some better way we could coordinate, because it's been introduced every session for I don't know how long. Got to do something different to get it going.
Yeah, definitely. I think we do. And in fact, this is what I submitted to be a little bit different. I submitted this. So last year in 2020, there was 209 crash fatalities in this state. Out of that 209, 49.76 were unbuckled. According to the National Safety Council, the average cost per fatality is about $1.6 million. The NHTSA, in their countermeasures at work book, they indicated through a couple different studies that typically once a primary seatbelt law is initiated in a particular state that goes from a secondary seatbelt to a primary seatbelt, the increase in seatbelt usage goes up by 8%. Well, you know what? Counting, I don't know how many thousands of cars that I counted in September, we were right at 93% this last September. So, okay. So I don't think we'll bump up to 100% if that's the case. But if 8% of those people who were not wearing their seatbelts in those fatalities, if they would have chosen to wear a seatbelt because it was a primary law, maybe we would have saved 17 lives. The cost saving, 1.6 times the 17 lives, would have saved Montana $28 million. And obviously the lives of 17 people and the benefits of 17 families. And I tried to put in, hey, look, the cost of legislation, once it's enacted, the publicity that the news stations are going to give this is pretty much all we're going to need. And then people like Buckle Ups around the state could take it from there. So I think this is a slightly different approach that's ever been done in the past. I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of where we went, and we submitted this through our lobbyist through the health department is the one who submitted this. The hearing, they didn't talk anything about any sort of written testimony. I think Kevy was going to put something in as well. They didn't mention a single thing about that. The only thing they said is if you submitted written testimony, do not repeat what you had submitted if you are going to testify verbally. So yeah, that's where, so yeah, it's dead. So we'll have to figure out something for next year on that, if that makes sense. Or next 2 years from now, right? Any questions?
But please, I think we should contact Frank and thank him, because he's been doing this now for years. And anyway, I appreciate what he's trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it almost seemed like he understood that this wasn't going anywhere. The amount of enthusiasm he had, if you go back and watch the video in presenting this, seemed to be a little ho-hum as far as this goes. So yeah, I don't know if we need to find somebody else, or if somebody could present on his behalf, or whatever the case may be. But I think we need to have maybe next time a little bit more energy and enthusiasm when it comes to it. But if he's been doing this for years, he's probably just banging his head against the wall and just going through the paces. So, but yeah, I definitely appreciated, him being there. But I think somebody maybe with a little bit more energy and idea about what this really means to Montana and the families, could be a big thing. So yeah, feel free to check that video out. That says it all right there. So anything else from anybody? Questions, thoughts, ideas? Okay. All right. Just some other updates real quick. I purchased 6 car seats for Messi, since Messi is Missoula Emergency Services Incorporated, our ambulance service here in town. They're the ones that are doing the car seat checks for most of the families right now. I'm doing a few here and there, but I'm trying to send them all to Messi. So they got 4 new infant seats, a convertible seat, and a booster seat this last week. So hopefully their inventory is good to go for a little bit. So that's nice. We'll find out later in the year. I think Missoula Rural Fire is going to reevaluate their car seat checks in February. So we'll see if they're going to open those back up again. Of course, COVID has everything to do with that. So Messi is the place to go right now. One thing that I did not have on the agenda that I want to tell you guys about. So I was brought into a meeting with the county commissioners not too long ago. They were going to do a resolution related to ATV, all-terrain vehicle safety here in Missoula. I don't know what all the connections are, but I believe one of the commissioners somehow or another had connections, maybe just friends with a commissioner out of Richland County in Northeast Montana. One of those commissioners there had a grandchild who was killed in an ATV accident. I guess she was riding an ATV, an adult-size ATV, and was a very small child in a sense, and somehow or another crashed and unfortunately died in that accident. So the commissioners, I think as a sign of solidarity to Richland County, would say, you know what, we're going to do something here in Missoula County because we don't know anything about like what's been going on as far as safety goes. Let's go ahead and put out this resolution. So somebody, one way or another, drafted this resolution, and it talked about different aspects of ATV safety, from making sure you're wearing your helmets, your proper gear, gloves, jackets, boots, goggles, all sorts of different things. And it specifically spoke in there about not driving all-terrain vehicles on roadways, that you could use them to cross roadways, but not drive them on roadways. Well, here in Montana, especially in like the Seeley Lake area, a lot of people use ATVs and side-by-sides as commuters. They are street legal. I mean, I see them around Missoula all the time, and they have to make some modifications and do some different things to make sure they're street legal. Well, once this got out to the ATV community, a lot of heartburn was developed, and they sent in a lot of information as far as emails to the county commissioners opposing this resolution. Now, this was just a resolution. It had absolutely nothing to do about becoming law or anything like this. But this last week, I think it was this last week, maybe it was Monday, I'm not 100% sure. No, it was last week. They held a meeting on this, and a bunch of people, different dealerships from around Missoula and Seeley Lake, and a bunch of people got on and were basically 100% against this resolution. They felt that it is sort of just making it to where it'll be a little bit easier in the future if the commissioners were to say, you know what, we're going to outlaw all ATVs. We're not going to allow any ATVs on the roadway no matter what. So a lot of people had a lot of things to say. The commissioners were like, I think everybody's a little misunderstanding this. This is just us saying, think about safety with ATVs. Well, then the commissioners put me in charge of basically, they decided not to do anything with the resolution. They tabled it, but they put me in charge of reaching out to the different ATV dealerships and the different riding clubs. So I just had a big, about an hour-long chat with the president for the Western Montana Trail Riders Association. And I've spoken with one of the, I think Kurt out of Kurt's Polaris. He was in Seeley Lake. He was on the meeting. Anyway, I chatted with them. What we're going to essentially do, kind of in the spirit of seatbelt awareness and safety, is I'll be working with all of these different people because a lot of the ATVs or the side-by-sides, they have seatbelts, so we can talk about seatbelt awareness there. And of course, I want to make sure that nobody's riding under the influence of any substance. So I can speak to them about that as well. So I'll be getting together to try to formulate some sort of unified message with all the different dealerships and riding groups within the Missoula County area and put something out. So I just wanted to let you guys know that if you see something coming out related to this, or you have a contact or somebody that you know that has an interest in this, just let me know and I'll try to bring them into the mix. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Steve, if you wouldn't, if you just need more information, please feel free to reach out. We did quite a bit of information gathering on this last year after that death. And I would just add, I know like this group's focus really is on seatbelt safety, but another huge focus for ATVs is just the fact that people aren't following manufacturer safety guidelines for those, and children are often riding on ATVs that are not designed for children, or they're riding 2 passengers to an ATV when it's a single passenger only ATV. So I think just being mindful of, and those groups will, I think, obviously be in support of that as well. It's not going to be a controversial thing, but that was just kind of a major issue that came up when we were doing that work.
Yeah. And they were 100% all in agreement that the safety is a thing. They were just a little bit more worried about the resolution talking about not riding on roads. And it turns out like the different dealerships are actually bound by law to go over all the safety information. And even the Honda had mentioned that they have like secret shoppers that sort of go out to make sure that they're actually doing all the right things and saying all the right things when it comes to the safety about, making sure if it's a 1-person ATV, only 1 person rides it. If it's a 2-person one, 3 people aren't on it, and kids and helmets and gear and all that stuff. So they're actively doing all of that stuff. And they sort of seem to be kind of offended that, however this came about, that nobody reached out to them to bring them on board to collaborate with this. So that's when the commissioners were just like, okay, well, this is causing some tension, some heat. Schmitty, can you take care of this? So tying that into the seatbelts, to the safety aspects of things, I'll be able to make this work. I don't suspect it'll take too much time in the whole scheme of things. And since I recently did order a motorcycle, well, I'd say 225 days ago. No, I'm not counting though. Or 125 days ago, I'm not counting. That I will be out actually on the trails, riding my motorcycle with all my gear on. But I'm just waiting. So I'll be part of that group, and we'll be able to communicate and chat with them and all that stuff. So should be all right. Make sense? Questions? Thoughts? I'll probably reach out to Kira and Rolf if we ever want to do a child passenger safety thing, like on the back of motorcycles, how to fit a child safety seat on the back of a motorcycle. That'd be great. No, that's not a thing. Okay. All right.
A thing.
All right. They go on the front. That's right. They go on the front of the motorcycle, not the back. No, that's not it either.
As long as they meet manufacturer of the seats instructions, I guess we can do what the manufacturer says and what they've tested it to.
There you go. All right. We'll make it work. Duct tape and bungee cords, I think, is the answer. All right, cool. Well, thank you, everybody. Any other thoughts, ideas, comments, questions, concerns related to Buckle Up Montana at this point? Okay. Oh, and Rolf, you said you still have 2 available, 2 car seats. Is that it? Oh, you're on mute.
I'll unmute. I have 2 available, and I did an install with a young couple that was expecting a child any day now. And they had 1 for each vehicle, and she got on it and put it in so tight that you can't move it 1/4 of an inch, the base on her rear-facing infant seat. So, yay.
Very good. Awesome. Well, thank you for your help. I really appreciate that. And yeah, and I reached out to you like, wasn't it like Christmas Eve or something like that? Or was it the day after
Yes,
Christmas?
yes, it was around Christmas Eve. So, and I'm available. I don't. I'm not a COVID. I don't get scared to death around being out and helping people. So.
Well, I really appreciate all your help with that sort of like last minute type of thing. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it's good to know that you have 2 car seats available. So that's good. Okay. Awesome. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to some DUI task force information. So one thing, I got a call just a couple weeks ago from Harry Watkins. I don't know if anybody remembers who Harry Watkins is. If he had anything to do with the DUI task force back when Lonnie was still running this. I do remember long ago when I was part of the forum and on the DUI task force, there was something with Home Safe Missoula where bars and establishments would pay for people to get a ride home if they were intoxicated.
Right.
Oh, and Kevy also says she has some car seats. Good. Well, I guess this is run by the Missoula Tavern Association or something like that, but they ultimately made their own nonprofit, Home Safe Missoula Incorporated. Is that right, Sheila? I see you shaking your head. Do you know a little bit about this? Well, they're dissolving. So they are going to be no more. I think probably because of the COVID situations and maybe, less people in the bars. I'm not 100% sure. Harry said that, also that I don't think anybody is looking to run this organization anymore, that they're going to dissolve the organization. And they happen to have in the bank $20,000. So they wanted to know what to do with it. And they wanted to know how they could donate it to the DUI task force. So I reached out to Lisa, my boss, and I said, how do we do this? And I guess and I haven't heard back from Harry. I called him and chatted with them and said, look, I think this could work. We're a government entity. We can take a donation similar to a nonprofit as far as the health department goes. I'm just waiting to hear back from him on what that means, but it looks like we'll probably have another $20,000 in the bank to spend. So thoughts, ideas, questions, more information, Sheila? You're on mute.
The only thing I know about the Home Safe is that the landscape has really changed dramatically because of COVID, closing at 10 o'clock and so forth. But also the landscape changed because of Uber and Lyft. And people, this generation that's going to the bars now at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and then finding themselves not in a position to drive, they don't think anything of calling an Uber or calling a Lyft. And so it isn't quite like the old days. I can remember, I'm aging myself now, but I worked at the desk at the Florence Hotel, and Yellow Cab was in that building. And I can remember people coming downstairs and saying, I called a cab an hour ago and my cab is still not here. And I go, yeah, on a Friday night, that's not unusual. And I think that Uber and Lyft have really taken care of that. So it's not as big an issue. There was a time when it was very difficult to get a cab at closing time. And if you didn't have a friend, often people just got in their cars. They don't anymore. I think more people have gotten that message. So that just less demand. They've kind of solved their own problem.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that Harry had mentioned. It was an issue as far as them deciding to because they have the extra money, and I think every establishment sort of pooled all their money together to create this. And so anyway, we'll have to, once this all gets finalized, try to figure out some way to utilize this money specifically related to DUI prevention. So good news there. Just don't know when exactly that will happen. Hopefully sooner or later. So should be fun. Should be fun to do something with that. Moving on, Lifesavers Conference. This was the conference that I was going to head to this last year in Tampa Bay, Florida. The week before the conference was supposed to start, they had 3 COVID cases in the Tampa Bay area and canceled the conference. So this year they're doing it online only, April 26th through the 28th. The registration fee is $275. I have within my budget money to actually go to the conference. So that would cover flight, registration, hotel room, all of that stuff. Obviously, none of that stuff is necessary at this point. So some of that extra money, I believe, according to Aaron Root, who runs Buckle Up Montana. Rolf had a good question. Will that $20,000? Yeah, it won't disappear in the county budget. It will be kept for us. So yeah, good question. So sorry, I just saw that pop up there. So with that extra money that I would have normally spent on the Lifesavers Conference, those I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they could be used as scholarships. If there are other people that are wanting to attend, I know there's a tremendous amount of child passenger safety seat information, other highway safety information. That's primarily what it's geared towards. Within that. So let me know if you are interested, just so and I know they're starting to register for that now. I'll have to register here soon. So if you could let me know within a week, that would be great if you are interested in attending the conference. Naturally, it's all virtual. So let me know. Any questions on that? Okay. Moving on, we'll try to get everybody out of here sooner than later if possible. This would be great. Drive Safe Missoula blog. You guys are all doing great. I really appreciate everybody that has submitted a blog post for the blog. If you haven't checked it out yet, drivesafemissoula.com. In the upper right-hand corner, click on that is the blog. In fact, I'll screen share and just show you guys how to get there. Let's see. Let me go here. So drivesafemissoula.com, right up here in the right-hand corner is blog. You can click on that, or you can do drivesafemissoula.com/blog. So people that have posted some stuff. Look, I posted the superhero thing. I don't know if Safe Kids, you guys knew I did that, but I posted that back on January 7th there. So that was your news release related to their Safe Kids. But there's a bunch of information here. I'm just looking for more and more people to constantly be posting something on here about something related to either seatbelt safety, DUI task force, anything like that, child safety seats, whatever the case may be, just to keep this going, to make this content bigger and more worthwhile, so people can actually find us a little bit easier if they need information about any one of the subjects that we cover. So I appreciate those that have continued to or that have been submitting those blogs to us. That's great. I probably would like to have a new round of signups. So if somebody has an idea, a thought, or something like that, please let me know. I'd like to get your information on there. And that goes for, well, from Virginia, anybody from, if the Sheriff's Department would like to post something on there. I think Sergeant Fow has posted something on there. Dodd, I'd like to, I don't think you've posted anything on there. Evan, Marie, anybody, let's, if we could post some more stuff on there. One, it also helps everybody know that you're involved with the Safe Driving Traffic Safety Initiative here in Missoula. That's great. Also, the partners page, I'm still looking for quotes to go on the top of those. So if there's something, you could send me a 1-paragraph little quote about what it means for you and your organization to be part of Drive Safe Missoula. I'd like to get that information on there as well. And I know I say that every single meeting. So, and I'll continue to say it until we all have something on there. Questions? sort of just giving you like rapid updates here. Okay. Last thing that I have really going on, this is probably what I've been spending the most of my amount of time with lately, is related to the Young Drivers in Control online course. This is a online course for those of you that aren't familiar with this. So we got funding from State Farm to do an online course. Well, initially it wasn't an online course, but because of COVID, it turned into an online course for young drivers, anywhere from the age of 15 to probably 25, more geared towards safe driving behaviors, decision making, things like that. So I've been working on that. So it's called Young Drivers in Control. Let me pull up just to get your guys' either a thumbs up or a thumbs down on this. And I'll do a screen share here real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, pardon me. Did you guys see anything there, or is it just the agenda?
I just saw the agenda, Steve.
Okay. So let me see if I can play this one more time. You guys see a little video play? All right, so if you can see that, that's the logo that I'm looking to go with as far as Young Drivers in Control. Trying to make something a little fancy. I was trying to go, like almost like a patch that you would see in a garage, that you bring a car to or a vehicle to. I wanted to have a little bit of, almost the checkerboard, which this could be either like a racing flag look or a tire track look. It's kind of going for a variety of different things. I created just a absolute truckload of different logos, and I'm going to see if I can't pull some of those up here so you can sort of see. Let's see, I'm probably not going to be able to do it in a timely manner. Maybe I'll get that up next time, and we can look at that. Decent logo? Horrible logo? Decent? Okay. Yeah, I was really trying to do something, and anyway, hopefully that works. It works good with the little video design that I was working on. I've done one video where I've written a script, recorded the script, rewritten the script, re-recorded the script, sort of building the video. It's taking me probably about 30 hours longer than I thought it was going to take me, but we're working on it. It's about 95% complete right now on that particular video. And this one here is basically on the concept of control. And essentially what I'm trying to do is develop a platform or a base that I can build the rest of the course upon, where we don't like to be controlled. We don't like to be told what to do, yet we cooperate with sports and music and all sorts of different things. If we're a member of a team, we're cooperating with the rules and the other players and the expectations of the coaches, and we follow this set plan. Even if we don't like the particular play that's called, we go along with that play because it's for the benefit of the team. So I'm sort of building that entire concept and getting kids to buy into that concept of, yeah, we don't like to be controlled, but we want the benefits that we receive from being a member of a team, a member of a band, an employee at a job, or whatever the case may be. We want to receive these benefits and we enjoy these things. And by doing so, we agree to follow the rules, the policies, the regulations, the plays, all of these different things. Same sort of concept goes with driving. We might not necessarily agree with all the rules. We might want to drive 85 miles an hour, but you know what? The speed limit here is 35 miles an hour. So everybody else expects us to be driving 35 miles an hour. Here's how it works. So I'm trying to tie all of that in, and we'll slowly build from that platform up to the top to help young drivers with their decision-making abilities when it comes to driving. And I'm having all sorts of different elements of media, and I'll be reaching out to some different people to bring them into the mix, because this isn't, you know, I don't want it to all be me. But it's the script that I wrote and the way I'm doing this first video. I'm not a talking head. I'm never in front of the camera. It's all other images and videos that I'm pulling into this to create this video and hopefully make it somewhat entertaining. But once I get that complete, I'll probably share a link out to everybody. And if you guys could watch that and then give me some really good feedback. And really good feedback for me is, Schmitty, you're off the mark. This sucks. I don't like it. Redo it. I would appreciate that because I don't want to put something out there that kids aren't going to watch it. If you happen to have a kid nearby, if you could say, come over here and watch this, it's 8 minutes. What do you think so far? Let me know. And if they fall asleep 2 minutes, into the video, send me a picture, let me know, because that means I need to redo something or other, if that makes sense. But that's pretty much what I've been spending most of my time on, outside of being pulled to all these different directions and meetings and computer issues and stuff like that. So, and with that, that's all I have. What say you about either your organization, updates, anything like that? Any questions you might have about this? Let's chat.
Well, I'm thrilled about the 20,000. I think that is nice because the DUI task force hasn't traditionally had a lot of funds to work with. So that's exciting. You can do some exciting things with that. And I have to jump off because I've got another interview to do in 2 minutes, and I got to go make sure I didn't break the internet again. I did yesterday. But have a great week. Have a great month. Happy New Year.
You too. Thank you, Sheila. Appreciate it. Anybody have any updates about you or your organization? What's going on?
Well, I don't really have an update, but I do have a question for the DUI task force because I know that there are so far I've counted like 42 bills that are going to be related to marijuana. And I'm wondering if maybe Evan or Virginia or anybody, are you all kind of keeping track of those at all in relation to some of the, not necessarily DUI, but like, driving under the influence of marijuana?
Yeah, I mean, I am hoping I can keep track of it. I'm hoping Steve will help me keep track of it, but Steve and I had a quick email exchange about that, and he had shared some bills that a lot of them, at least the last time we looked, were placeholders and they hadn't written them yet. I don't know if that's changed. I honestly haven't had a chance to engage a lot yet, but I absolutely will. And hope that's probably a good agenda topic for the next meeting, because I imagine between now and next month a lot will happen legislatively.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. I think too, like one of the things that we've been kind of talking about is the idea of something similar to a RAS training for for individuals who are selling marijuana, especially thinking about, underage individuals. But yeah, I think that would be hopefully something that they're thinking about.
Yeah, and I could reach out to my contact with DOR, Department of Revenue, who is responsible for doing the RAS training, responsible alcohol sales and service, and I know they're going to. I think DOR is going to be responsible for issuing the licensing for the different establishments. So I'm pretty sure that that's on their radar, and I'll find out exactly what's going on with that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
This is unrelated to Buckle Up, but just in case anybody knows a high school senior in Missoula or Ravalli County who intends to pursue a health-related career, our high school healthcare scholarship program will open next week. Applications will open on the 19th, and again, it's available to graduating high school seniors in Missoula or Ravalli County. Health-related can be pretty broad. We had a student a couple years ago who was majoring in management information systems, but their hope was to develop technology software for the healthcare sector. So encourage students to think broadly on that category.
Excellent. And then when you guys put out a release for that, or whatever the case may be, I'll be sure to get that on the blog and on Facebook and all that stuff as well. So. Yeah, and Evan and Virginia, I think, Virginia, are you still on vacation?
I am. I'm hoping to get back next week.
Okay.
Probably by the end of next week.
Very good. Very good. And you're in Big Sky, right?
I am. Mm-hmm.
So my uncle died on Big Sky Mountain in 1976, I think 3 years after it was opened. He had a head injury while he was skiing there. So that's my little history. And that's actually why I love Big Sky so much, is kind of close to that place as a result of that. So, but yeah, it's a good place.
My husband and I taught. Yeah, we taught skiing here for 14 seasons starting in 1980, just over Christmas. So, we've had a long-standing relationship with this area.
Do you have a book coming out anytime soon, Virginia? You should, absolutely. I just want like how to live life like Virginia. That'd be great.
So Virginia, let Steve and I know when you're back, and then we'll schedule a Zoom meeting to go over bills sometime between now and the next monthly DUI task force meeting.
Yeah, we need to do that for sure.
Yeah, and I just got an email from Kevin Dusko, who with MDT, who is in charge of all the DUI task force. He said he was unable to attend the meeting this afternoon. Otherwise, he'd be here. But he said, big thing happening in my world, trying to keep a pulse on impaired driving related legislation. No heavy action yet, but that will change. So I don't know what that sentence means necessarily, but hopefully he will keep us posted as well, because I know a lot of people have their pulse on different things, and I'm in heavy contact with the DUI task force coordinators out of Kalispell and Helena and Great Falls and all that stuff too. So, and Bozeman as well. So we'll keep everybody posted as we learn more. So yeah.
And Steve, I think that, I think having a better connection between what you guys are doing around legislation for DUI task force, because we have our MUSAP has, we have a committee specifically around laws and policy, and it's a lot stronger than it has been in the past. And right now, something we're working on is marijuana, but, if other bills, not even related to marijuana, but, related to impaired driving, please let us know and we can try to partner. If anyone wants to come to the meeting, we're having one tomorrow morning. So I can let you know, Steve.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, the only bill that I saw that had anything written about it was related to sentencing for people, I believe, that had a fourth DUI or something. So that was pretty much related to the courts, a little bit outside of our realm, outside of like road court, for example, with Landy Holloway. But yeah, that's the only one that I saw that had any sort of text written to it. Everything else appeared to be a placeholder. So we're kind of in the dark right now. But of course, I am extremely interested in, and have already started looking up stuff from Colorado and from Washington State that have legalized the marijuana already. And I started writing a blog post at about 6 o'clock this morning related to driving under the influence of THC. So that'll be probably coming out next week, but I've already started working on that one. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely keep us posted if you know anything, and we'll do the same from USAP. Sure. Anything else? Okay, seeing none. Everybody, thank you so much for attending today. I appreciate it. We'll probably continue to do combined meetings for a while. So second Thursday of every single month, same bat time, same bat channel, same Zoom channel. And we will see you soon. Please reach out to me with any comments, questions, or requests. Send me your blog post ideas, and we'll talk to you later.